So working in ambient Soho on Berwick Street, and then working in the boy shop, ad hoc, at the end of Old Compton Street. It was great being in Soho at that time. I mean, at the time there was 15 plus record shops all in that area, and yeah, just good vibe. So Wendy was someone that I worked with on Sundays in the boy shop, and she was a hip hop DJ, and she would go over to New York and buy hip hop records, and then she realised that I was DJing and I was playing jungle, and she liked that, so we started doing some little nights together, and we started doing a night at a place called the Clinic in Chinatown on Gerrard Street, just in a bar, sort of red velvet bar, and she would play hip hop and then I'd play some jungle, and yeah, it was just brilliant. And we did a few other little tiny dive bars.
I mean, there's a lot of them little spots around Soho, isn't there?
Yeah. So Hamway Street, and
what was in Hamway Street?
I can't remember the name of the bar. It was next to the Spanish place.
I was going to say about the Spanish.
Yeah, I think it was next door to it.
Because that was quite a legendary sort of hangout, and then particularly 80s. There's loads of quite. Particularly the Gothy crew, for some reason, are always down there. That was you might see Nick Cave or someone in something like that, or Fetus or something like that. I know all the Sun Bazaar crew used to hang out there.
Yeah, so Wendy had been a kind of squatter, and then early days, late 80s, got herself in the Seven Dials Co-op. So she always lived in flats around Soho. So yeah, so that was brilliant as well. Yeah, so we just started doing these little nights, and for me it was quite a good education in hip hop, because I liked it, but I kind of didn't know, and so then I'd start buying all the tunes that Wendy played.
So you said she was going over to New York to actually get these right from the source. So
yeah, absolutely.
She wasn't just importing them. Well, she was going over.
She was going. Well, I think a couple of times there was some weird deal with British Airways where if you bought a Hoover, you got a flight for 199 quid return.
So
I think she might have bought a couple of Hoovers.
What? So, well, why have you got 6 Hoovers in the corner? Well, but check out all these tunes I've bought.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, so that was just great, and that gave me confidence as well, because it was, laid back setting, and yeah, it was just, free drinks and laugh, and we loved doing that. And at the same time, probably doing squat parties. So, and they were probably getting bigger and grimier.
So you go from Soho to the squat parties.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's good. I mean, we've talked before about this, about the different sort of scenes.
Dropping in different scenes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really interesting, and I always like doing that, and I know you've hopped across all sorts of different scenes. Yeah,
so there was, the other story was I got booked to play in the dance stage at Reading Festival. I can't remember what year, it was 97, 98 maybe. Yeah. I have my pass, actually, so photo.
Yeah, take that one out, yeah.
So that, apart from, it was brilliant, I DJ'd before the Sugar Hill Gang on the dance stage.
Amazing. Oh, that's...
Yeah, and so that was great. And some friends came from London, Rachel and Roz, and they turned up, and because Roz knew someone on site, she had a Mini, which she changed the number plate to pink. Her and Rachel had pink leather jackets, dressed up pink, and were allowed to drive around the site, and kind of basically drove up to the dance to promote me. And then, so I did that, and then we didn't hang around, so we went to Luton to go to the Exodus. So we went from Reading to Luton, to the Exodus Festival, just party. Exodus used to put on lots of parties in the quarry, and then they did other events at the farm. And some of I think maybe that one particularly, there was a DJ who I still don't know who it was, who played a lot of early jungle, and so I was taking notes of, and there's still stuff that I have in my collection that I heard at Exodus. And yeah, Exodus was that sort of crossover, bit crusty, bit ravey. Squall, which was the organisation that sort of I used to produce a magazine with advice about squatting and politics, and they used to do a bar, or like kind of a bar, maybe teas and coffees, something like that. So I got to know all of that lot. And then also they used to do a tent in the Greenfields at Glastonbury. So got invited to DJ there, and then got told off for being too noisy. I mean, Greenfields,
well,
jungle.
Glastonbury. No,
yeah, and they were like in the Greenfields.
Maybe you're getting told off for not being hippie enough,
Yeah,
Rachel. So that might be it.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
So just lots of crossovers.
How did it feel like crossing all them different scenes and genres?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
And weirdly, and this is before I worked in Black Market, I remember chatting to Nicky, I think maybe when he come into Ambient Soho, and he just thought it was brilliant, because he just thought, he said to me, he said, you know, we're all doing the clubs and you're going out and playing in other places. It's brilliant. Like kind of, you know, I think he might have turned up at a few odd squad
So he was
well.
open to that. He wasn't snooty about that.
Yeah, not at all. He was really positive about it.
Because what did that lot feel about maybe some of their tunes being played, like I said, in like warehouses and like I said, like illegal rave? Well,
I just don't know. I don't know what they made of it.
Yeah.
Really, I don't think they really thought about it.
Yeah.
But they some of them probably considered me to be, you know, lesser of a DJ, or, you know, like kind of because I wasn't doing the clubs. But then I was going to the clubs as well.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing, was that I, you know, how we spoke about this, about I was there, but I did go to the Blue Note, and I, you know, Metalheads nights, and I did go to, some of the other ones, Leisure Lounge, the Limelight. I didn't go to AWOL, sadly missed that one.
Yeah.
And then around the same time, working in Ambient Soho, obviously I'm doing a lot of the buying for records. Got to know Dave Stone, who ran Sour, then Emotive, and Watch It and Scarper, and he had started a night at Bar Rumba on Shaftesbury Avenue that was drum and bass, and invited me to come, and originally I was played in the bar, and so started playing alongside.
That was the Thursday night, wasn't it?
Thursday, yeah. So
that was Movement.
That was Movement, yeah. And that was great. And then sometimes I'd be doing the clinic with Wendy, and then going straight to Bar Rumba afterwards.
Well, it's literally around the corner.
Yeah, and it was great. And then I had good support. Aaron Liberator was working in Ambient Soho at the time, so he totally championed me. So he'd come down to Bar Rumba, and then I got to play in the main room, not just the bar as well, and started to meet like kind of some more of the sort of drum and bass, like kind of, you know, the clubby people.
Yeah, I mean, because Brian G was quite involved with Movement, wasn't he? Or?
Yeah, and really sound, that kind of. V recordings very much like kind of.
I mean, and again, it was Thursday night club, which, you know, I guess Rage was as well, but it was like really busy, wasn't it? Again,
absolutely.
it was, you know, just because it was a Thursday didn't mean it was any less a night.
Aside from that, it's around that time probably Swerve started at the Velvet Rooms, which was Fabio's night, and that was a bit fancy.
I used to go down there. Rachel. Yeah.
Of course you would, a bit fancy.
So, well, you know me, that's me.
I really enjoyed, you know, dropping into, and because I more and more, you know, just loved that music. But then I'll happily listen to acid techno, like kind of in a grimy warehouse party as well, or even actually some of the techno things at the Leisure Lounge. Didn't Darren Emerson do a night or something?
He
like
did,
that?
and I went to Colin Favour's stuff. They did what was it called, Outer Space or something like that?
Yeah.
That was kind of I mean, that was one of them. Yeah.
And so I liked drop because then I knew lots of people that were into lots of different styles of music, and then also, quite often, advantages of working in record shops, you can blag you in. Get on the guest list.
Yeah.
It's like kind of find someone. So
well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. If you're selling people the records, then, you know, and then obviously people come in, you're going to get loads of come down. But loads of people, it always amazes me, loads of people don't really cross all the scenes, though, do they?
No. So people decide that they kind of like, this is my genre.
Yeah, I'm jungle, I'm drum and bass, I'm house.
Or even like, the goths, or like kind of, you know, I'm just going to stay like kind of this. And I mean, and then the other thing about the music that I liked, a lot of the jungle stuff reggae samples, it made me find out about the reggae records. Because I knew nothing. I mean, I'm a Highlander, like, no background in reggae, like kind of apart from...
You went into the early Scottish dub scene?
Yeah, no.
The Highland Shaka?
He passed me by.
Loch Ness dub?
Yeah, but I mean, so saying that, I went to Shaka as well. And then I started to realise a lot of the samples, where they came from, and then getting into sort of buying some of the records or picking up some of the sevens, and it was just all education, like kind of...
No, it's amazing how sampling, like, again, I was very ignorant of a lot of the reggae stuff. It was never kind of my scene. I didn't know a lot about it, but again, that educated me into... And I tell you something, when you go to like a Shaka party, or even at the carnival, hearing like stuff like Abba Shanti, hearing it on a... Yeah. I didn't really understand that music until you heard it on a proper sound system, super loud. Because when it's just a very simple reggae tune with the bass, you don't really hear, But when it's literally shaking you're like, oh, okay, I think I might understand this music now. Yeah,
I think might have been Brighton Festival. There was a Shaka tent. That was probably like late 90s. The pitch black in there, apart from like a red light. And but yeah, just, bass wobbling. But talking of that, Valve sound system around that time as well
oh my god,
did the Stratford Rex, which was quite a legendary sort of drum and bass. It was more known drum and bass, but MC type events. So not my scene particularly, but Valve did a night there with this whole sound system. And so for anyone there, Dillinger Lemon D's sound system was amazing,
hand built. I mean, and again, that is if you like, that's the total reggae sound system vibe. Build your own speakers.
Yeah, and so took my friend Simone, and I think her boyfriend at the time, and Simone was a hairdresser and she was really into drum and bass, but I think we'd gone to go down the front, and it was like being on a roller coaster, and it was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be sick. And I don't think we hadn't taken any pills or anything like kind of to aid that.
I went to Valve at the Mass, in Brixton, and they had all the signs up, warning as you're going in, which is kind of cool when you're going in. It says, and then they were giving out earplugs on the door as you went in.
Yeah.
And then basically the bar, you could not put a drink down because literally the glasses were rattling.
Yeah.
And I remember the same thing. I went down to the front. I can't remember who it was. It was probably Dillinger playing a tune, and then there was a bit where the bass kicked in. And again, I don't think I was really out of it. I think I was pretty straight. But literally, my whole body was, and I was like, and like you said, like a roller coaster. It was 100% that bit when you're on them things when you think, I don't know if I can handle this. I'm actually shitting myself.
No,
and it's just like I thought my heart was going to explode. And it was intense. Probably was too loud, to be honest, if I'm honest.
So there was just such a great, that variety of stuff, and then the next weekend I'll be doing like a weird cabaret night at Chat's Palace, so kind of fancy dress and
well, like I said, it's good to cross the different scenes, and like that's the beautiful thing about it's not just London, but somewhere like London is like home of just a million bloody
you can
things.
Just drop in. Like
again, why restrict yourself?
Yeah, to one scene or like kind of one, or go like kind of certain people that would just like meet in that one pub and then go to one club night.
I think I said to you I used to go to some of the techno parties. I used to go Lost, and I used to have friends there who were really into their purist Detroit techno, which I love. But then they'd be like, I'd tell them that I've been at a rave, the night before. And they'd literally be like, looking down their nose,
kind of purist.
Yeah, really pure. And actually, my first record, Unearthly One, that I properly put out, I scratched in the run out, it says, fuck the purists.
Excellent. No, I went to Lost, but then partly because we used to sell tickets for it in Ambient Soho, so got to know Steve Bicknell really well. And lovely, lovely guy, and another blag.
I'm a common theme. I think you just go and place. You say you're going everywhere, but it's more like you get free tickets, Rachel.
Pound records.
Pound records. Yeah.
Yeah, there might be a theme. Good times and busy, and so then I suppose. Oh, and then around the same time, the Shoreditch, because of Blue Note, and Shoreditch was starting to pick up, and so a new club opened up called Herbal, and I was still working at Ambient Soho when it opened, and they offered us a night of sort of electronica. So I think it was me, Vicky ITA, and then some more weird sort of electronica, so drum and bass and electronica. So it just opened. And at the time, I was living in a warehouse at the bottom of Southgate Road, which is not that far. So it became a bit like my local. And drinking lots of tequila. And then Ambient Soho closed down.
Do you know what year that was it shut down? Do you remember? Or?
Must be, I think, because I looked at a flyer, it was 2001.
Okay.
So kind of late 2000, 2001. Rocket still had Dragon Discs, which was in Camden. And didn't know what to do with myself. And then, actually, there is a little bit in the middle. Friend of a friend worked for a record distribution place called Under One Sun Records, and they had an office based on Brick Lane, above the Truman Brewery. And I got a job working with them, selling drum and bass to record shops. It was a nightmare. Telesales. And also, Under One Sun didn't have a particularly good roster of labels.
Yeah, why was it a nightmare then? It was just...
Phone sales. I mean, telesales. And also, I think I was calling record shops across the country, trying to persuade them to buy not very good tunes. Not very good tunes. And a lot of the time, it would be mainly blokes saying, "Oh no, you don't know what it's like to work in a record shop." And I'm just like, I've been working for 6 years doing the buying for all this kind of stuff. But then I was sort of going, well, actually I do know, because I wouldn't be buying this.
All right, well, yeah, there's a bit of a conflict there, Rachel. Here's the thing: if you're not 100% behind what you're selling, and obviously this is the old telesale, so you've got to try to sell whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there was 6 of us that worked there. Strangely enough, Bridge, who ran a label called Sudden Death, who now him and his brother run Breaking Science events, and have done amazingly well. So I was working with him, which was it was good. But I hated it. I really and working in office. I'd never worked in office. I like dealing with the public as well. I'm kind of
again working in a record store. Yeah, I mean, obviously there is the stereotype of the moody record store employee, and maybe that is normally a bloke. But I guess women can be moody as well.
Absolutely.
Of course they can. But at the same time though, you're convincing people to buy records, and you're showing people you are selling something, and hopefully you're selling going, oh, do you know this?
I love that. But it's been able to pull out a pile of records, going, oh, if you like this, maybe listen to this, maybe listen to this. Not calling some up in a record shop saying, like, do you want 10 copies of kind of the latest weird drum and bass remix of the Fraggles, or
Yeah. Well, I might have told you to fuck off if you found me out, Rachel. Yeah.
So I did that for about 6 months.
Right. Wow. Quite a long time.
And then there was an advert for a job at Black Market, and they were looking, or I can't remember if someone told me about it, or how I heard about it. Oh no, I know what it was, because it was Bridge's family was leaving, and she used to man the phones, sell the tickets, sell tape packs, basically just do all that kind of stuff. So I had my first ever real job interview ever. And got interviewed by Dave Piccioni, who ran Azuli Records, who was a part owner with Nicky, and Sharon, who worked in the office. It was quite terrifying.
What did they ask you at that sort of interview for that?
I can't remember. I really can't remember. And also, it was probably who you knew, what you knew, and there might have been an element that I kind of knew Nicky and Ray, but I don't think they were asked that kind of thing. But I think they were sort of aware. My CV was like kind of enough, and also I suppose the fact that I had been playing quite regularly at Bar Rumba, and so there was quite a lot of legitimate. It's not just.
Well, no, it is legitimate stuff, and like you said, you had Ray and Nikki coming into your shop. Well, into ambient Soho. You're playing you're playing at different venues. You're not like some black or like that.
Black.
Yeah, exactly. So you're 100% legitimate.
Yeah. So I got the job. And
Were you buzzed up getting the job there? How did it feel getting the job there, Black Market?
Well, it was great, but it was quite odd to go from being the buyer from vinyl distribution and SRD and any of the other smaller like kind of distributors to answering the phones, selling tickets and tape packs, which was and I wasn't like for the first probably year or so, I didn't really get involved downstairs other than perhaps like kind of buying some tunes. But slowly I started covering other people's shifts.
Right.
Inveigled my way.
Were you the only woman selling tunes there at that time?
No. So upstairs there's Miss Jules. So in the house section, Miss Jules. Who else is upstairs? But downstairs, Sarah Lockhart. So she used to just work at the weekends, but she was also working for EMI, I think, at the time, and she was so it was the cusp of sort of grime dubstep. Well, sort of garage into grime dubstep, so this early 2000s. And so she used to come and do Saturdays downstairs. So I would say she was there before.
Just to explain to people who don't know, weren't there back in the day. So upstairs was more like house, garage, sort of.
So it started off, if you right way back, I think it was house, garage, old school hardcore, and it flipped. And then they took the drum and bass and everything downstairs. So upstairs was kind of house, tech house, garage, and then downstairs was just drum and bass and jungle, and then Sarah started bringing in some of the sort of it's hard to know, like kind of grime dubstep garagey crossovers that weren't housey enough to be upstairs. It's a kind of weird.
I don't know.
Even the sort of breakbeaty stuff. I mean, I can't with dates, because then Zinc set up Bingo and like kind of those kind of bassy breaky like 138 type.
I mean, there's bits, but there's all blurring of genres around there.
Yeah.
The garage getting bassier and merging into, like you said, dubstep, grime. Yeah. Just bassy, really.
Yeah. So it was brilliant. Really enjoyed it, and although our biggest competitor at that time, and bearing in mind that Black Market was internationally known, and on the back of that I probably got quite a few gigs, although I had got gigs from being in ambient Soho. Our biggest competitor was a company called Red Eye Records, who were based in Ipswich out of a warehouse doing online. They're one of the like absolute early days mail order.
Well, they're still going. They're still going, aren't they?
And Black Market didn't even have a website, because Black Market was so well known that people came to London, pilgrimage, that kind of. So at the time, they should, they let that side slide, and
that's interesting. I didn't realise Red Eye went back that long.
Yeah,
that's interesting that they're one of the very first.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's quite interesting. Yeah.
And then so also that kind of, and then to top it off as well, there was always that big demand for white labels. The under the counter stuff. So the white labels basically would be 20 copies, 3 weeks, a month before release, or maybe a box from the label, that kind of couple of months to release. Black Market had so many regulars that were DJing on pirate radio or that kind of, and so loads of big names, and then so it would just be a battle. So when we did finally get a website together, we had no promos. So Red Eye would be like shifting 20 white labels, that kind of thing. We couldn't sell it. Had to keep them in the shop to sort out the people that were coming to the shop.
Yeah, because that was the thing with all that. I think I used to go to I did go to Black Market, and I did used to buy records of Ray, and Nikki. But then I'd quite often go to Unity because I'd get more of the exclusives, because they were, and again, I was all right with Nicky and Ray, but I wasn't like...
You weren't so there was
I wasn't a top-tier DJ. I wasn't a top-tier DJ, so there's certain ones I wouldn't get.
Yeah.
But I went to Derek at Unity. I was good mates with him, and he totally sorted me out all the top tunes I knew I'd get there. Yeah,
so I mean, what happened at Ambient Soho, because we would get some white labels the same week that Black Market got them from SRD. So I would have like all the young kids that kind of, because they knew, and they weren't going to get them in Black Market, and then so there's certain DJs, I'm sure they won't mind me saying, but Fracture particularly, remember him, and Neptune, I think probably coming in their school uniform and that kind of tapping me for white labels.
You said to me before, exactly, because it was less intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because I do remember like Ray and Nicky, they played a tune and then they go, who wants one, and then the hands would go up.
Yeah.
And this is why you'd almost have to fight your way to get it.
Yeah.
And I remember being there sometimes being like, fucking hell, I can't be asked to fight my way through like...
I mean, then I used to, answer the phone and it'd be so-and-so from you put me a bag, and they would expect you to like kind of put a bag of like everything that came in until, so they get first picks. And it just felt really unfair, because there'd kind of be other people coming in, spending money kind of thing. And I would sort of, be wanting to give them a white label or two, like kind of, because it was good, because I knew they'd be into it. That's how it should be. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't be a total.
Yeah. So and then so the website sales suffer. So we did start doing mail order, but it just wasn't what it could have been. And then everyone started going digital, and so record sales started to get less. However, there were some positives. The dubstep thing sort of came in, and a lot of those labels, they would bring us boxes. That kind of Mala from DMZ would like kind of just come down with a massive box of like kind of all the promos or releases of all that stuff, which are now go for quite a few quids on Discogs.
I've sold a few recently, for quite a lot of money, like the early DMZ stuff.
And things that I should have collected, because I love lots of the tunes. I wasn't playing them.
Yeah, well, some of them were doubles, so I've still got the tunes. But I know, I was like, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like all these.
That really helped. That helped keep the shop going, that kind of thing. So it was, it was thriving, and then quite a few women, particularly, but not just women, have said that they really appreciated me being in the basement because it made it less intimidating, because I just love pulling out a whole heap of tunes, that kind of saying, oh, try this if you like this.
I'm not being funny, but like that's your job in a record store, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You go to a record store and again the good ones, and like I said, I'm not knocking Nicky and Ray, because I've got loads of great tunes of them as well. Yeah. But like I said, I knew with someone like Derek at Unity, like he'd literally pull me out tune after tune, and I'll be there. And a lot of times I'll be spending £100 a week. I mean, talking early 90s. I'm talking like early hardcore days. Yeah. I'll be spending £100 a week. I'll be spending. I think I had a temp job at London Electricity. I spent all my wages on a Friday just on white labels, and then.
So I mean, we had we had a lot of regular customers. That kept the place going. Because like I said, I think if they'd been a bit quicker on the mark with the website type sales and that kind of, it might have lasted a bit longer.
Well, as you say, that they had a really good name, Black Market. They were one of the top destinations.
Internationally known.
Yeah, like where people would come. Because, again, people would travel, and I knew mates, particularly from Germany or the States, they come to London, and one, they would want to listen to the pirate radio. To hear what the latest tunes are going on, and then they would want to walk around Soho, going all the different shops that they could. But Black Market was definitely one of the top of those. Yeah, to get all the hottest whites that were going on, and it was a destination. Yeah. But then obviously, like you said, you didn't need to do that, and
you started. You could order stuff online and that kind of I mean, however, I make it sound as though it was like. But, I was there for 13 years. So condense that in like a little bit. Right.
So it doesn't happen like when you joined, right? So it doesn't happen coincides with the
Yeah, no, I know. I was there for 13 years.
Yeah, no.
And there was issues about the name change, but I'm not going to go into that. Going from Black Market to BM Soho was something that shouldn't have really happened, but I can't really go into that. But then we started doing sort of later on, I think when Record Store Day was cool, well, kind of when it was about all the independent labels, and it was like kind of, before any of the, before the Rolling Stones were repressing something for the 500th time. And we started doing in-stores, like kind of, getting DJs, and we'd get Ray and Nephew, the rum people, would like bring us like loads of rum, and we'd just give it away. And so, there was quite a lot. There was some good things happened that kind of before that kind of it sort of fizzled out.
Yeah, they need to change Record Store Day to independent or something, but I don't know if they will ever do it. But it's just fucking bollocks.
Well, it's a combination of that, and then people resales on Discogs, and that people buying up, but kind of, and then instantly, it's just it doesn't make sense. And then also the thing that's most annoying now is that, because when things were really tough in Black Market, it was lots of people, small labels, pressing up, that were keeping it going. But because there was less pressing plants, the available, and they'd been keeping all of that going. And then when those labels started going, oh, vinyl's cool again, and we're going to, let's press up some vinyl, they would jam up the pressing plants. And so all the little labels that had been keeping it going were put to the back of the queue, and then all the big, the ones that didn't need to, it's just absolutely madness.
Because there was a bit where I don't know what the year was, but it's maybe 2010, 10ish or somewhere around there, where everyone was like, vinyl. Like the CDJs had come out, they were just starting to get a bit more popular than it. And then people like, vinyl literally is dying now. And in a few years, there'd be no records. And then, so everyone was like, okay. And like you said, the small labels are still going. And then, again, I'm not sure, but a few years later, you had a little, and again, I'm not saying it was, but it almost became cool again, the vinyl, and it sort of had a little pickup. But by that point, like you said, in the Record Store Day, it was all the big record companies pressing,
getting in, or like, let's do a green vinyl version of like kind of
Dire Straits or some bullshit,
something like that.
Yeah, exactly. There should be no anyway.
Anyway, so we agree that it needs to change. Though that's what it was for, about going into record shops. Perhaps discovering new music, not just like kind of buying like kind of, a different version of the album that you've got in 4 different versions already.
Yeah. Do you know what year Black Market closed?
So it closed a couple of years after I left. So maybe 2015 it closed. I left previous to that because it was taken over by someone else, and I was owed quite a lot of money, and I had to take them to court.
Okay.
And then that's one not to.
No, that's fine. We don't have to go into that now. No, that's fine. No, that's okay. All right.
So So and then I think it sort of struggled on for a couple more years, but obviously without me, it just wasn't the same.
That's what killed it off, Rachel.
No.
Wasn't you though? Like just your smiley face.
I know. You're keeping it alive.
Keeping it alive. You did your best.
Yeah. But good times in general. One of the positives about being at Black Market, I've always been involved in Glastonbury Festival, doing Las Vegas when it was Las Vegas, and then Block 9. And so Block 9 was a field that was kind of next to where Las Vegas used to be, which started off with the NYC Down Low, which was an homage to 80s New York and the sort of crossover gay scene. And then they got a new venue called the London Underground. And so the London Underground looked like half a tower block with a tube train coming out of the front of it. Because amazing Block 9, really great set builders, really worth checking out their work. And I think the first year I DJ'd in it, and then Gideon, who organises Block 9, because I was working at Black Market, started getting me to look at the programming and because he decided that London Underground was going to be predominantly bass music, so reggae, dubstep, garage, drum and bass venue, and that's kind of sort of opposed to the NYC Down Low, which is much more housey, and then the Genesis, which was a bit more sort of techno-y, because that was the outdoor thing. And people like Nicky Black Market had never been to Glastonbury. And so I think the first year that I got involved in the programming, and because I was in this position to get in touch with people and say, get you a couple of tickets, it's not going to be much money because budgets are always rubbish at those kind of things. And just got involved in programming.
How did someone like Nicky feel about, because obviously you said originally when like you first sort of knew them guys, they were playing in the clubs, you were playing in the warehouse. So how did it feel for him? What was his experience like?
I think
going to play in a field with.
Well, I think kind of a lot of them had done sort of stuff in fields before, and then perhaps they'd even been to Glastonbury and played in Silver Haze, like kind of, which is all the way the other side of the festival. But there's something particularly different about the southeast corner. It's known as the naughty corner. It only really comes alive at night, and it's grown massively. But so it was just a great situation to be in, and I worked with quite a lot of the programming for all the nights. Gideon sort of some of the garage, but we'd throw names and that kind of, I'd try and get contacts, and it was definitely because of my contacts of being in Black Market that I was able to help with the planning, that kind of thing. And then I ended up being the venue manager. So my job, I would kind of be keeping an eye on the DJs getting on site, making sure that they're sorted, and then particularly alongside Tracy French, who's my brilliant stage manager on a couple of years, I radio on, I'm pretty much in charge of the whole venue. I'm working with the sound engineer, I'm working with the lighting people, I'm just overseeing everything and making sure the toilets are clean. I'm working with the security, I'm watching them, checking the queue. I mean, a massive like kind of checklist of what kind of, is the Harris fencing okay? Are there any entrances, that kind of, how are the fire, that kind of stuff, that kind of. And
well,
then
you need to be really on it for that job.
Totally on it, like kind of, and then also you're in a rave environment. Luckily, I don't have to, apart from checking in with the bar people, wasn't responsible for what was going on in the bar, so that's like one phew. But I would spend the whole night pretty much walking around the venue, because bearing in mind it's a rave venue, you've got an amazing light show, boomy music, and just health and safety, just basically checking, making sure that people are kind of not passed out anywhere, and that kind of the queues moving, just keep an eye on the venue, as well as keep an eye on the stage, making sure the DJs are there on time. My stage manager would be making sure they've got drinks for the sound engineer, blah blah blah, and did that for several years.
Well, that's an amazing new amount of skills you learned.
Well, it was mental, because again, it was like kind of going blagger.
But again, we say this a lot. I was saying this to Phil, your husband, earlier on, as in the praxis of doing stuff. You obviously had the skills, but some of these things you've just got to
learn on the job.
You do have to learn, and obviously.
Well, just an element of common sense. And then also, the main thing with Block 9 was that I had an amazing team of people behind me. And also, literally, the production office is kind of at the back of the venue. So if I were to have a panic attack, that kind of thing, a team of people, a team of like kind of I just... If anything, I mean, luckily, that kind of everything really went pretty smoothly that I can think of. I can't think of any madness, although there would have been madness, but nothing that kind of massively major. But no. I always knew that there was a team of people that kind of right behind me to help out, that kind of thing. But I think it was a combination, and then I was able to bring people like Calibre, Marcus Intellects. Yeah, I mean, I can't even think. I mean, Ray, Keith, obviously, Dan, Youngster. Yeah, the roster of people that I was able to invite. Natalie, DJ Flight, Mantra and Double O from Rupture, Tasha, who runs Neighbourhood, and a lot of people that are, sort of quite, big in the scene, that kind of thing, and being able to bring them to that venue is just, it was brilliant.
No, that's amazing, mate. Yeah.
Great opportunity, that kind of, but around the same time as that, I was still DJing squat parties, and I DJ'd a place called the Red Star in Camberwell, and there's a bunch of lunatics running it. That we both know.
Yeah. I played there loads. That was this is other scene, other time.
Yeah, I mean, and also it was confusing with the Red Star because there was a point when it was semi-legal, then it was just squatted, and then you sort of really chopped and changed. I think it would have been the Unsound crew that.
Yeah, I mean, Red Star's in this big building by Camberwell Green. Still there, I believe it's either an African restaurant or maybe a church, something like that. But it was an old musical venue. I think they've been there since the 1850s or something. There's a date on the top of the building. You're like, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a lot of things have gone in that building. It's been a numerous things. I think it was a gay club for a while. But anyway, it turned into the Red Star, and our mates Lee and Robbie were...
running it. And so it was a mixture, and I think they got Jay Dammers to come and play. Jay Dammers from the Specials, he came to play there, and sort of variety, and it's where I met my now husband, because he was doing the door, and he tried to charge me £5.
Did you pay?
Lee had to pull him up and say that I was the DJ.
All right.
Anyway.
Yeah. I've never seen you pay a £5 to get anywhere, Rachel.
No, of course not. So that crew, so they also started putting on beach parties in which you went to, and your sister, and a lot of us.
We should say the name again. So it's Unsound.
Unsound, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they'd done a couple before I actually went. So I think it was about the third or fourth one even that I went to. So it was right down in the south of Italy, a place called Metaponto. It was just brilliant. The first time Lee asked me to do it, I was just like, and he was like, pay your flights and like kind of pick you up from the airport. And I remember some friends saying to me, where are you staying? And I was like, I don't know. And going to DJ, I'm like, I don't know. What kind of is this beach party?
We should say as well, they were 10-day parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was 10-day parties on the beach in the south of Italy.
So they set up the system, set up the bar, switched it all on, and just it ran.
And it 24 hours a day we're talking about.
With a variety of DJs. But I was really pleasantly surprised to get there, and I don't know, because did you have any idea about... So they had chalets. So basically...
Well, no, I did know there was chalet. I wasn't like you, Rachel. I wasn't like, I'm just going to sleep on the beach. Because I did know this.
I was planning so because I didn't.
Where were you expecting to stay then?
No, I didn't think I would be sleeping on the beach, and I didn't know, because I'd done other gigs like kind of abroad where, I'd either been in a hotel, a motel, or at someone's mum's house, or kind of done, just go with the flow, like kind of. And I was only.
I understand.
I wasn't staying. I wasn't there for 10 days. I think the first time I went, I maybe was there for 4, 5. Yeah, I didn't do the whole thing.
Lightweight. Yeah.
So got given a chalet. And the first time I was put in a chalet with someone called Stagger Lee and his girlfriend at the time. And then we discovered that we knew loads of people from South London, and there's sort of connection, but I had never met them. And so, got given a chalet, walked down to the beach, sound system, but then where the chalets were, there's a bar. It was really quite civilised in a lot of ways.
There was a holiday camp, because right next. So I've got to say that Metaponto is like a traditional Italian seaside town, isn't it? Quite. And I think in August is like the big peak holiday scene in Italy, when the whole of Italy goes on holiday. But these parties, I think, were they in the end of May or June? Yeah, so literally it was the bit where it was quiet. So the holiday camp was empty. So they'd be a few hundred English nutters over in the holiday camp. But I remember waking up. You'd wake up. I'd have my, espresso, a nice Italian breakfast, and then there's quite a long little walk down to the beach, down this little sort of rough sort of road.
I think there's some video footage of that, of just the walk.
I filmed it as well, but I didn't put it online. But there is. Do you know what? I'll cut it, if I can find it. I'll cut it in now. But there's a bit of walking down to the beach, and I do it, and you see me walking down, and and there's actually a video on my YouTube channel of me playing Fight the Power on the beach. And the camera pans round, and you see loads of the characters.
Sure so it was a lot of
But anyway, and then you just walk down to the beach and play some tunes.
Or go for a swim. And then on the weekend, you get loads of Italians turning up, and it becomes even more loopy.
Well, that was the weird thing. Yeah, exactly. It'd be all the British crew, and like I said, during the week, during the day, I'd go and play funk and disco and stuff like that. It was really nice, really sunny.
All sorts.
But then at the weekend, it'd get a bit more, a lot more techno-y and jungly and all that, a bit more ravey.
Yeah.
And all the local Italian crew would turn up, and just all with their tops off, obviously on the beach.
Or just like hugging the speakers.
And I still occasionally get some mad messages from Italians who are there, just sort of like going Unsound, 2010. I mean, it was such a.
It was great. I mean, it's kind of it was just a combination, and just really good crew of people, because obviously, I think the first year I didn't really get involved so much other than DJing, but then in other years, can't remember how many times I went, maybe another twice. I
think I went 3 times, but again, maybe it's 2 or 3.
But I think the second time you get involved because you end up sort of helping out behind the bar, and there was a kind of core team of us really, all. Working around the bar and taking it turns to DJ, and sort of good crew of people, and good times. So
we used to have the Italian guy on his white horse. Do you remember him down the beach?
Yeah, remember him galloping like kind of by. And
try to pick up women on the beach.
Jellyfish.
I do remember actually. One time I do remember I was playing during the day, and it was this mad storm, and I was playing, and then like the tide was coming in.
Oh yeah, there was times when it would.
And I was still DJing, and then Lee is like up there doing the rig, and I'm thinking, he's going to switch it off in a sec because we're just about to get under the sea. And he said, keep going. And it's literally coming up with about a foot of the deck. So I'm still playing. I think I'm going to die, be electrocuted, DJing. And the waves are lapping at your feet, and it just about stopped there. But it was, they were like, we're not stopping the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, great roll call of DJ Keith Scarper, Bigger, so sadly passed away recently. Deadlock, Steve Deadlock, who Sesko nowadays. He's a big name in Asia.
Yeah, in China, isn't it? Yeah. Shouts to Steve. I haven't seen him for a long time.
Chris Liberator.
Yeah.
Warlock. What's his name? Tall.
Al?
Al, Maxine,
Hannah
used to play, and then...
Controlled Weirdness? No.
Controlled
Just waiting for that, Rachel, but that's fine.
What's his name? Richie, that kind of...
Who do you think?
Who do you think? And then, tall, tattooed face. What's his name?
Did you say Jerome? Jerome played?
Oh, Jerome played, but sort of playing mad sort of punk and ska, and I've forgotten his name. Really tall.
Punky guy.
Yeah.
Shouts to you. Oh my god.
So it was.
Yeah. Anyway, well, to be honest, that was one of them parties that sometimes and I will say I'll hype it up again because there's a video of me doing it's afternoon session, and I play the last tune before some Italian guy takes over, and I play Fight the Power, and then Scarpa is there, and then there's a bit where I take the phone and literally go from behind the decks And like I said, it's about 3 PM, so there's only about 20 people there. But you see all the people, I take the phone round, you see Stacey and Jason and their kids who are little playing in the sea. Me and Scarpa just dancing around the speaker. And then you see all the other characters. I think Richie's in there. Danny Lynn, who was not the DJ, but it's my mate Danny, who was over there.
Tracy French, man in the bar.
We need to shout out Tracy.
Tracy French,
pick up the French, yeah, sure.
Especially that incident with the fridge freezer.
What is this?
It was a bit of a stumble. I think Phil might have had something to do with it. That she fell into the fridge freezer, cracked the massive door. Totally fine. So she was all good. So what kind of
so I think so I was saying some of the best moments in that party were just during the afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like literally one of them it was like 20-30 people. Like I still remember I think it was Dom was the punk guy.
Dom.
And I remember, I think he played Echo Beach, the classic 80s.
Yeah.
And I remember we had all the dolphins, and everyone's paddling in the sea. He played Echo Beach, and then I remember seeing these dolphins. And I'm not normally a hippie who's into dolphins, but it was still like a good moment. With like nice and sunny on the sandy beach.
Also DJing with Billy, who sadly passed away as well, and that kind of
Billy was definitely a bit of a legend in the Unsound.
Yeah, he'd get on the dolphins. So good times, and then the combination of those things is how I met Phil, who's now my husband. And so when we got together, him and Keith Scarper were in a band called the Satin Star Wheels. And they'd just fallen out with their rhythm guitarist.
Oh, okay, I didn't know this, but yeah.
Yeah, and me and Phil got together. We hadn't been together that long.
What, and he got his girlfriend in the band?
Well, because I play saxophone.
Okay.
Saxophone. Right. I had played saxophone in a band called Fantastic Fake Fur, which were kind of legendary theatrical bands from the early 90s. Check their Facebook page, actually, Fantastic Fake Fur, because there's some funny photos. So I played saxophone with them.
I'll be doing that, yeah. So Phil said to me, come and play saxophone in the band. And I was like, all right. And so I started playing. Then he went, oh, by the way, we've got a gig next week at the Foundry. I think it was about a week later. Maybe we did it. And then, we talked about the Foundry in the last episode with Phil Klein. Had a big chat about the Foundry. What a legendary spot that.
Absolutely. I mean, I DJ'd there in the 90s with my then boyfriend, and got told to stop playing jungle because it was making everyone skin up. And I think I turned around to Gimpo and I said, if this place didn't look like a Scot, people wouldn't be skinning up.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It was, yeah.
It had arty. There was a Tracy Emin, the tea in the window, and there was like.
I know Banksy did a few pieces in there.
There was an arty element of crossover.
Yeah, I know Banksy did a few pieces because there was loads of graph everywhere. And fair play to Banksy, like when they actually knocked it down or basically took it over, they were like, oh yeah, we want to take the Banksy pieces out, like they fucking do, and he was just like. No, fuck it. They go down with the building, like no preserving that.
Yeah. So you went into the old bank vault downstairs, the revolving kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I told a story. I think the last episode about I think it was an ugly funk party down there with loads of people on ketamine with a revolving dance floor. And you can imagine that. You can imagine how that one ended.
Yeah. So first gig with the Satin Star Wheels and. And we played in the Foundry a couple of times, so it was good. And then quickly followed by gig at the
Dogstar?
Tate Britain.
Oh, Tate Britain! Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. All right, okay.
Tate Britain, which was that was quite an odd one.
All right. That's a bit of a tour itinerary.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the full ins and outs. So I know it was just there was a round table thing being recorded, with Mark Thomas, the guy from the manager from the MC5, Viv Albertine, Tony Benn, I know someone else. I can't remember.
You're just dropping random names now.
No.
Tony Benn was there.
No, I don't think it was him.
I was going to say, if you supported Tony Benn, that's the bill I want to see. Yeah.
So did a gig there, and on the same night, I then got a cab to the Egg in King's Cross and played the DJ set after having drank a lot of wine from the green room at the Tate Britain gig.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so random.
Yeah. How was your Egg gig? Yeah.
Staggery.
Yeah. Do you remember it? Do you remember it much?
I pulled off the mixes. I wasn't standing up very well.
Yeah. Right. Well, you know.
But yeah. So so sat in Star Wheels. So we did quite a lot of gigs. So combination of things. Yeah. So after Black Market, I was signing on. I was getting grief off the Dole office. Got sent on a computer course, which was handy actually, like kind of brushing up my Excel, which I've forgotten already.
Yeah, okay. I've got some spreadsheets I need you to look at.
Yeah, no.
I bloody hate Excel.
Oh God.
Anyway,
when a friend of mine said to me, "You used to do glass, didn't you, Rachel?" And I was like, "Yeah, 20 odd years ago." And she worked at a place called Lead and Light in Camden, which was a big workshop making and repairing stained glass windows and supplying other makers with all glass, all the tools and supplies and everything that you need. I hadn't cut a bit of glass for 20 years, but I got the job. And so ended up being there for sort of 5-6 years. But Phil and I wanted to get out of London, so we almost ended up moving to Folkestone. That didn't turn out, and Phil's dad lives down here and said, "Come and stay, and sort yourselves out." And so have ended up down here, and have
in
worked
Devon.
in Devon, yes, in sunny Devon, well, not so sunny Devon, but yeah, beautiful bit of Devon, and I have a workshop shed, and I make stained glass.
And I will say you've been doing really well with that. You've been selling loads, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a learning curve, but just selling stuff at the markets, Topshop Market, then the shop called Maker's Mart, which is in Exeter on Gandhi Street, which sells, I think it's over 130 Devon and Cornwall artists, from jewellery to socks to ceramics and all sorts of glass stuff, and that's going really well. And then commissions, and really appreciate friends and family and people ordering stuff online.
Well, I do know from some of the photos you showed me, the whole album of all the photo of the stuff you sold. You've sold a lot of stuff and a variety of stuff, and I know your work is amazing. And and some mates. I know you said like Nicky had one, didn't he? Nicky Black Market.
Yeah. So you kind of smiley face. Yeah. But kind of it's been actually Giselle, I think, who's coming up shortly.
Spoiler alert.
She bought a smiley as well. So it's been great getting support from people that I've done letters for people that I know, but then I've had complete strangers get in touch through social media. I do have an Etsy shop as well, but they charge fees, so I always prefer going off Etsy.
Well, it's interesting how we started off with you trying to go to art school, and then Scotland's art school's going no, get out of the country. You have to leave the country if you want to pursue your dream.
We're sending you to Coventry.
Literally sending you to Coventry. Oh my God, yeah, I can't believe it took this long to get that joke in there. Well done, that's great. Yeah, send you to Coventry. But then even then, I think you went to the Poly. But then when did you went to art school in
Farnham? Yeah.
Farnham. Yeah. So you had to go all the way down to Surrey.
Yeah.
And then look now.
Yeah.
Here you are. You've always been creative in what you've been doing, and so it's quite interesting that.
Yeah, and I still DJ every now and again, but mainly it's for more and more 50-year-olds' birthday parties. I think there's a couple of 60-year-olds coming up as well. But yeah, friends and family.
None of us are getting any younger, Rachel.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know, because you did. Yeah, probably don't need to go into the full story, but I know you sort of did announce you semi-retired, and then and a bit like Frank Sinatra, you're coming out of retirement, you do the odd little gig.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'll never play again, but so. Because I know recently you played up at my mate Robin's do up in in Newcastle down at
the Bird's Nest.
At the Bird's Nest in Deptford, yeah.
It's Whistle Crew, Horns Crew. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That was great. It was a good night.
You played that, so it was nice to get you back in the capital for a little bit. But yeah, you are still doing gigs, so if the price is right, you bring your £1 records along.
Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of. I want a big guest list.
Oh no, yeah, not that one. Yeah. The DJs, the guest is so big that the club doesn't make any money at all because everyone's got in free and all the free bars gone. Yeah, it's good to see you still being creative. And
thank you.
And I'll post the links up. And I know you're busy with orders, but obviously if anyone's interested in some
absolutely, and
pieces of glass,
anything's possible. Although. Yeah, right angles, but
Well, try and think of the weirdest thing you can get made in glass, and let's
challenge.
Let's challenge Rachel to do the weirdest thing you can do in glass. But I'll post some of the images up. I'll post some links into your, how you can connect with you and see some of the work on Instagram and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, great.
All right, thanks for having us down.
No, good to have you here.
Sit, motherfucker.